What is it? What is it? The stuff that dreams are made of.
Welcome to our third video, people. We are looking at the Samsung Galaxy S3. This is the third iteration of Samsung's flagship Galaxy S series, the successor to the Galaxy S2, the widely selling Galaxy S2. As you can see, the packaging is pretty minimal. We have the phone right here. It's the blue version. Looks pretty neat and slim. As you can see, we'll take a look at the handset in a few moments. So going deep into the box, we have the documentation. And pretty standard Samsung accessories, the USB charging cable, the 3.5mm headphones, and an AC charger. So putting this aside, let's move on to the hardware itself. As you can see, we got the pebble blue version of the phone. It is available in two colors, pebble blue and white. Unfortunately, no black color. Looking at the hardware, we have the volume rocker up there to the left, and we have a central home button surrounded by the capacitive buttons. We have a suite of sensors here, as well as a front-facing camera. We have the power on and off button to the right, 3.5mm headphone jack to the top, and a noise cancelling microphone to the top, as well as a microphone to the bottom, including a data sync and the charging slot. So quickly turning up the device. The display, as you can see, is the 4.8-inch Super AMOLED pentile display. What pentile means is that it consists of 5 subpixels instead of standard 3. So instead of the RGB, you have extra R and G, so that will result in dull blue, about which we'll talk about in a few moments. So this is the lock screen for the Samsung Galaxy S3. As you can see, this is the nature UI, as the Samsung is calling it, and it's got nice transitions and animation effects to it. We are looking at the new TouchWiz. Instead of calling it TouchWiz 5 or TouchWiz 4.5, Samsung has said that this is just TouchWiz. As we are talking about the UI, let's take a look at the Samsung special applications that they have thrown into the Galaxy S3. First, let's take a look at the video player. We can see that the clarity of the video is pretty much awesome. It is capable of recording and playing 1080p video, and Samsung has incorporated this awesome feature using which you can browse to the phone and still watch the video, and you can also drag it around. This is pretty seamless, and despite being the fact that Samsung has introduced this first in the Galaxy S3, this works without any lag or jitters. To go back to the video, you can just double tap and you're in the video. So pretty awesome feature. And let's take a look at other features. This is the multitasking mode that is by default enabled in the ice cream sandwich. This is unlike what we have seen in the HTC One X. So you can just swipe your applications that you don't need out of the way. So pretty easy managing tasks and multitasking through different applications. Take a look at the camera application. Samsung has thrown in a pretty naive camera application that you have touch to focus, audio video switching, which is pretty seamless, and the camera records at 1080p, and it's an 8 megapixel camera, by the way. And coming to the settings, you have different settings that are pretty much thrown in. They're not refined in any way. You can choose the shooting mode from a single burst shot, HDR, etc. You have the burst mode right now. So I've taken 6 pictures right now, and I can choose which one is the best one for me. So another Another sweet feature is the you can take pictures while you're recording the video. So we are recording 1080p video here, and you can click the camera button here to take a snap of at that point of time, which is a pretty neat feature introduced in HTC One X initially, and it is also carried on to the Samsung Galaxy S3, which is a good thing to see. And as you can see, the camera quality is quite good and takes some of the best shots we have seen in a mobile phone. But it still doesn't answer to the fact that the camera application could have been more refined. Although you have all the features that you need in a mobile camera up here. So this is not the best camera application, but it does take pretty awesome pictures. Samsung has also thrown in its All Share application, which is a DLNA application you can use on your PlayStation 3, etc., which are the devices which are capable of DLNA. So you can stream media and onto your device or from your device, which is a basic concept about DLNA. And you also have the chat on service, which is Samsung's version of BBM. It's a WhatsApp-like application, and it works pretty well. We also have Game Hub, as you can see. So it's basically the same thing as the Game Center that we see in iOS devices. So Samsung has also thrown in its custom app store, the Samsung apps. So if you're thinking that this doesn't make any sense, but the Google Play Store does a pretty sloppy job at recommending applications, and that's where Samsung apps excels. So Samsung found its own custom way to suggest applications through its users. As you can see, we have the suggest widget here. It suggests applications to the user. So this is unlike any phone that most phones does not come with this built-in. You have to download a third-party applications to learn about new latest and greatest applications, because Google Play Store doesn't do a pretty good job at this. So it's a nice piece of software, and also one of the main applications is the S Memo. It has been ported right from the Galaxy Note. It works pretty well, pretty similar, but unfortunately you don't have the stylus included with the phone. So that's that. Going back to the applications, S-Voice is Samsung's answer to the Siri. So you can ask, like, what's the weather like today in San Francisco?
Clouds giving way to some sun today. The current temperature is 13 degrees.
As you can see, it does a pretty good job, but we're going to have a full-on video about S-Voice and compare it to Siri. Going back, as you might have seen till now, the app drawer is continuous. So there are settings to change, lots of settings and personalization capabilities on the phone, and you can see that you can add widgets right from the app drawer, not the traditional way. So that is how Ice Cream Sandwich implements it, and that is how Samsung has let it be. Let's take a look at the browser. So it's a pretty awesome browser. You have the full screen mode enabled, so you can browse full screen no matter what, and you can also pinch to select between tabs, or you can just use the button, and it's also fun to see that incognito mode is included right into the system. You don't have to flash a cyanogen mode to get this feature, so that's a pretty good thing. And apart from that, the browser is pretty fast, and pinch to zoom, flash capabilities all work pretty well. We are looking at the Verge article, the mobile version. So as you can see, the scrolling is pretty good. The pros of the device are its screaming hardware. The 1.4 GHz Cortex A9 based Samsung Exynos processor really does the job well, and the latest TouchWiz is also optimized to the hardware, and there have been zero drawbacks and zero freezes in the phone, something we have never seen in an Android phone. The HTC One X suffered so many lags in our hands. That's not the case with Galaxy S3. Samsung really pull it off software wise. And the one of the main difference between Samsung Galaxy S3 and the Galaxy Note, the now best-selling smartphone, is that the Note has Bluetooth 3.0 and Samsung Galaxy S3 has Bluetooth 4.0, and also Galaxy S3 is NFC enabled, and there is a software S-Beam which enables two Galaxy S3s to share information and videos, which is pretty limited right now. The NFC is not there are not too many NFC applications that in the market or elsewhere, so the implementation is limited, although you can see that the usage will increase thereon, and as you can see, Dropbox is built into the device, and it offers 50 gigs of free storage to the purchasers of the Galaxy S3, which is a nice thing. And coming to the onboard memory, Galaxy S3 has 16 GB onboard memory. This particular device has 16 GB onboard memory, and only 11 GB of it is usable. The rest of the 5 is used by the system. So 11 GB is quite small. So although on the bright side you have the 50 gigs from Dropbox, and the memory can be upgraded to 64 gigabytes using the micro SD card slot. So software front, Galaxy S3 wins hands down. And comparing it to the HTC One X, the software is very optimized right out of the box. You don't have to tweak anything, you don't have to install any ROM, you don't have to root the device. The device is screamingly fast. Coming to the cons of the device, however crisp and bright the display is, down to the fact that it is a pental display, the quality is quite suffering from what we have seen in the HTC One X. And although software front Galaxy S3 wins, the design is quite cheap, and there are lots of plastics used in the design, and the brush aluminum look that you can see right here is a fake one. It is basically plastic to touch, and it uses Corning Gorilla Glass, which is a good thing. But on the whole, the camera application is also not very good. It is a rushed up camera application. I really hope there is an update for that. And Samsung has also included a lot of accessories like the S Pebble, which utterly makes no sense, because an MP3 player as an accessory to a phone is quite ridiculous. And some of the features that are included in the Nature UI, like the Smart Stay, don't work terribly well. To conclude, Samsung Galaxy S3 is a pretty awesome device, software front, and aesthetically also it's quite nice, but not up there. And especially at 42,000 rupees MRP, it's a very expensive phone. So it's a good device, but pretty expensive. So that's our video review of the Galaxy S3. We have a standalone video for the S Voice application, so stay tuned for that. Thank you.